Thanks very much. Great to meet you all here, and would love to tell you about Vow. So just to kind of get started here, we're focused on this, I would say, existential problem within the crypto space right now. And that is that cryptos are really not well suited for commerce. And even stablecoins don't really provide a remedy because they're completely contradictory to the ethos of decentralization. So we have volatility, you've got acceptance issues, and then you've got the whole issue of centralization. And we have a solution for that. And basically, we operate in a fully decentralized paradigm. The issuance is from merchants and from merchants who are actually conducting commerce. The people that are accepting this currency and using this currency are consumers. And the collateral is simply the promise or the vow on the part of the merchant to effectively take back whatever they've issued in the form of this virtual currency. And in that way, we are the first crypto that does not need a fiat on-ramp or a fiat off-ramp. It can work entirely outside of fiat currencies entirely, and that in turn that includes the attribution of profit. And so I'm not going to get into too much of this detail in such a limited amount of time, but let's just roughly give you what actually happens here. The underlying token is called a Vow token. We launched this at 7 cents in the ICO. It was trading yesterday on 3 different exchanges at just over $1. And that is within about 2 months of it actually coming out of the ICO. So it's doing extraordinarily well. And we haven't done a stitch of promotion at this point, not a stitch. And I'm waiting to do promotion when I've got the apps fully built out with all the merchants in them that we're working with right now. So this is all just on a buzz of this concept. And what we do with Vow is a merchant stakes Vow and then is able to effectively, by staking Vow, is able to issue these discounts and rewards to consumers in the form of V-dollars. It's a currency which is effectively backed by the merchant's commitment to take back whatever they issue. In the simplest form, let's say a merchant gives a 20% cash back or discount on a $100 good or service. They have, at the point of sale, issued 20 V-dollars to the customer. That customer can now spend that V-dollar in any one of tens of thousands of merchants across the board. And the merchant has vowed to take back 10 V-dollars from any other customer that brings them. All of this happens through apps, and the app effectively is in the pocket of every single consumer who has a credit card coming from one of our distribution partners who are credit card issuers. And that basically gets the distribution wide and broad. And then we're adding thousands and thousands of merchants to this system. Key differentiators are you've effectively got, it's tamper-proof. That's the first thing. It's safe from asset threat. You've got acceptance at all the POSs. So the great thing is that this is a business use of crypto, and the merchant doesn't have to do a thing. You don't have to use new technology. You don't need any addition to your existing point of sale. We pick up transactions we've got through relationships with Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover right off the payment rails. So there's nothing that the merchant has to do. It's logarithmically balanced, and it's like a perpetual voucher. And that's really the great thing. I got a 10% discount from Nike in the form of a V-dollar. I can go and spend that at Starbucks. I can take my Starbucks reward and buy United Airlines tickets a ticket with it. I can spend them across the board with any merchant in a completely fungible way. It is inherently sustainable because the consumers understand that these V dollars are worth a US dollar when they shop at Amazon.com, United Airlines, major hotel chains, Nike, anywhere. They can take their V dollars, spend them as a dollar, and so they are definitely motivated to come in and buy those V dollars at some discount to a US dollar, and that creates an incentive for the customer to enter and buy V dollars, and it creates a disincentive for the merchant taking back the V dollars to sell them. They can use them in respect to payments to anyone in their network. They can buy from other retailers, or they can convert into cash. But the fact that they can use them everywhere is a disincentive for them to do that. And in this way, we create a sustainable, valuable exchange. I'm not going to get into the architecture. It's just it's too much right now. Dig in with anybody that wants to get into the architecture with us afterwards. Let's look at the market for this. There's a massive, massive market. There are over 10,000 loyalty programs. They're growing fast. About 7.6 billion members are in loyalty programs around the world. 48 trillion points, if you like, worth a dollar are locked up in silos with every individual merchant, airline, hotel group, whatever. We're going to free all of that and put it into a usable, fungible, universally acceptable V currency. We have a very simple go-to-market strategy here in the United States. We pick up distributors in the form of credit card issuers, branded credit card operators. There are about 50,000 of those card issuers in the United States. We can also extend it down into newspapers, PSPs, basically any company that has got a stable audience, and let's call that audience of above 1 million, could become a reward publisher in our world, register those consumers' credit cards or debit cards, and once they're registered, they can be used by merchants all over our system. And then there are additional use cases for the Vow ecosystem. I don't want to get into too much of that here as well, but just, payday loans, buy now, pay later, currency swaps, government payments, all of these are actually in development with real countries, real merchants, real banks right now, and looking at this as an extension of what we can actually do with a universally acceptable payment mechanism such as a V-dollar. And then the token economics. The tokenomics. We've got a continually restricting supply here, because as the Vow token is used as a staking mechanism, for every V-dollar transaction, it burns 1.6% in V-dollars, and that is then effectively burned in Vow as, if you like, transaction fees. They're not received by the company or by any company. They're burned in the form of the diminution of Vow available circulating tokens. This will continue to increase the demand for the token because of limiting supply. And of course, on the other side, we've got a demand from the actual merchants who want to stake their programs based on holding Vow. Typically, they hold 20% of the amount of V-dollars that they want to issue. So if a merchant wants to drive $1 million in sales at a 20% reward, that would be 200,000 V-dollars. They'd need to stake $40,000 in Vow, which is 20% of the amount that they're going to issue. We did this 6 weeks ago, and we thought, wow, we're going to launch it 11 cents in stage 2. The merchant price would be 20 cents. We thought by March we might be at 50 cents. We're over $1 today, so it's run way. We're running way ahead of even our most optimistic projections. We're running way ahead of those right now. Our roadmap is we're right on our roadmap. We will complete the Vow apps are ready to go. Sorry, this is 2022 here. There's a mistake here. The Vow apps are ready to go in January of 2022. And then we will wrap up our pre-sale very quickly thereafter. We're a Jersey registered entity, registered by the COBO in Jersey. And we have the opportunity to create a risk-free investment in our operations through buying tokens. I can get into this with any investor that wants to kind of dig into this, but using Nexo, we could basically drive a risk-free investment strategy, or you can put funds at risk depending on your preference. And then further than that, we also have Alluvial Rewards, which is our reward publisher here in the United States. And if investors are more interested in equity than they are in tokens, we have that mechanism to offer. We're raising about 32 million. We've already raised about 6.5, and we're raising about 32 million worldwide. In the US, we think we'll basically bring in about 20 million of that, and we're pretty far advanced in that process right now. So basically, what we'd love to suggest, we have, by the way, a really great team of people, been at this for more than 20 years in the rewards space, and using blockchain right now to conquer and to really disrupt the reward space is exactly almost what blockchain was invented for, because at the end of the day, this is just one giant ledger. You issue rewards on one side of the ledger, you take them back on the other. No need for fiat anywhere in the process. So we have opportunities right now for investors both at the token level and at the equity level. And we'd love you to engage with either Eric or myself after this meeting if you're interested. We have some creative and we're pretty energized right now in terms of talking to people and getting to where we need to be on the investment side.